Hey guys, so today I want to get better at painting. And how do you get better at something? You practice. I just feel like I should be an expert at something the first time that I do everything. Like I truly am one of the least patient people that you will ever meet in regards to trying something, and if I'm not immediately good, I'm like, throw it in the trash. And that's stupid because every artist that you see, it's like, oh, my first painting, my 500th painting, and it's like goes from like something a kid would do to like photorealism. Are you effing kidding me? Like that's because I don't practice. Nobody's good at guitar their first time. You're good your 500th time. So I'm realizing now that I have to get out of my own way, and the way that I do that is by practicing. Now I already started the painting that I'm going to be doing. It's just a little canvas. I wouldn't call myself like a new painter. I've definitely painted, like you guys, I don't know if you guys have seen my son's bedroom, but it's got, you know, like mushrooms, and I've done like a video where I did like a paint and chat with me video where I'm like painting a snail on a mushroom, and like I did a big frog and a tree and fox and all different kinds of things on the wall. So I have some painting skills, but I'm not good with like lighting and shading and realism of any sort. And I just have one of those personalities where I don't feel comfortable calling myself an artist, and I don't know when I ever would be. How do you get better? You practice. And so today I'm going to be practicing painting, but I'm also going to be answering your questions. You guys asked a lot of really good questions on Instagram stories. I posted a little question box on there. So if you guys don't follow on Instagram, that's where I'll ask the little question box, and then you guys can submit your question if you guys have a specific one that you want to ask. And I'm just going to be answering them while we paint today. We're just going to hop into it. But before we do, a word from our sponsor, HelloFresh. If you guys don't know who HelloFresh is, I assume you do, but if you don't, they're a meal delivery service, and they deliver meals directly to your home each week. Each meal comes in a little baggie inside of an insulated box, and in there come all the ingredients and a recipe card, and it's very easy for you to make any of the meals in there. They're so fresh and delicious, healthy, balanced. I've never had a meal I don't like from HelloFresh, and they're just so nice because they take away the guesswork. I don't have to think about what I'm having for dinner tonight. I don't have to think about what ingredients to buy. I don't have to worry about grocery shopping, all the time that takes. Everything involved is seamless, effortless, and just so good. You can choose from a variety of menu options that suit all of your needs and tastes, from fit and wholesome. They have quick and easy, vegetarian, family friendly, so there's something for everyone to enjoy. You can customize your meals with protein and veggie swaps, and don't forget, you guys can check out HelloFresh's Market for more delicious add-on items to jazz up your weekly deliveries. HelloFresh also lets you easily customize your delivery from week to week. You can tailor everything to your schedule by adjusting your delivery date. You can skip a week when you're not able to cook at home, etc. I think one thing that I really enjoy about HelloFresh is that it's really opened up my world to different ways of cooking, different ingredients, different recipes that I would have never tried, but that have become part of our like weekly rotation that we just love so much. Different flavors, different combinations. It's great. For free breakfast for life, you guys can go to HelloFresh.com and use the code FREERAWBEAUTY, and that will get you one free breakfast item per box while your subscription is active. That's free breakfast for life at HelloFresh.com with code FREERAWBEAUTY. And I thank you so much again to HelloFresh for sponsoring today's video, for continuing to partner with me for like 5 or 6 years now, and for just being so awesome in not having to worry about specific meals each week, because specifically as a parent, that's one of the hardest parts for me is like, what do I make? 3 meals a day every day for the rest of my life. All right, and now we are going to hop into the Q&A. Okay, so this is where I'm at so far with this painting. I just took a picture of my greenhouse, which maybe I'll just pull my phone out and show you kind of the reference image. So this is the reference image that I'm using. So I'm gonna do some purple flowers, some white flowers down in the bottom. I'm gonna fix the stones up a little bit. I'm gonna try to make the glass look more like glass with these reflections. I'm gonna try to like fix the trees up in the back and just kind of, I don't know, I'm not going for like hyper realism. That's not my style, I guess, but just something cute. And I thought this would be a fun first way to get started in practicing painting. I just got these little paint palette. This is actually from Target. I was just there recently, saw these Mondo Llama is the brand, and I was like, oh, that's really cheap. It was like $4 for these plastic paint pans, and it's nice because you can wash these guys off. I also have these acrylic paint pens I might try to use. I've never used these before, but I bought these guys thinking that I could do like some shadow and highlight work with those. Somebody wanted to know, how do I learn to care less what others think? Age has not helped this for me. I've done a lot of therapy, and my therapist often talks about how it is normal to care what people think about you. It is not abnormal. It's part of like the hierarchical, that's not the hierarchical system of the way that we are, like the way we've evolved, the way that people just are. You are supposed to care what people think about you. And it's like the way that we're accepted into group settings. Like if we were a part of like in hunter-gatherer groups or like communities of people, the way that we probably should be living, it would matter if you were liked or not. If you were massively disliked from everybody, that would kind of show that there's something wrong with you or that you've done something that's wrong. So it's actually probably evolutionarily a really important thing to care what people think about you. So you're not weird if you care. You're actually normal if you care. So that's one thing that I want to put into perspective. Now, I think that there's a difference between caring. Like, I want to be accepted into society in the way of like, I don't want to be like mass hated, but also in the same token, you don't want it to destroy and ruin your life. So I guess what you're probably asking is, how do I care less what people think about me in the regard of like my day-to-day life, what I look like, how I am perceived to other people. You obviously don't want to be like a pariah. Nobody wants to be, but I just want to normalize for you, like, it is normal to care. I don't care in the way of like, I don't let it control my life anymore. I don't change my actions so that other people will like me. I try to just live authentically to who I am. And if somebody doesn't like that, that's literally okay. And that's the type of mindset I try to have with that, because it is just is. Like, I can't make somebody like me. I can't and shouldn't change myself to be liked. Cut yourself a little bit of slack, knowing that that's just the kind of culture that we live in. Sorry, I have a paintbrush in my mouth if I sound weird. It's kind of the culture that we live in to care. So it's not like you're weird for caring. Like, it's actually less common when somebody doesn't care. I don't know. It's not like I don't care at all. Like, I'm still a human being. I just think that it doesn't rule my life like it once used to. Like, when I was young, it used to really, really destroy me if somebody didn't like me. And now I couldn't care. I don't know. Sometimes age fixes it for people. Age has certainly fixed that for me. But I'm not perfect. I still care, I guess, on some level. That's just kind of the way society is. So you're not abnormal for caring. In fact, you're completely normal. Someone asked, how's my mental health been lately? It has been so good. I just cannot even tell you, like, literally so good. I'm just doing great. I am even in my PMDD day right now, and I'm feeling very overwhelmed by just like life, because PMDD just does that. But I'm gotten to the point where I feel like I can recognize this is going to go away. You're going to feel fine again soon. I feel motivated. I feel excited. I feel so many things that are just really, really encouraging. I don't know, I just feel like really, really positive right now, and I'm just like very hopeful for the future. I have so many ideas of things that I want to do and plans that I have for, potential businesses and ideas. And I bought a bunch of bulbs next year, potentially doing like a pick flower farm, and potentially using the gazebo space outside that we have for like micro weddings or wedding venues. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm just feeling like really encouraged and excited about these opportunities that my mind is like, instead of being what it normally is, where I'm like kind of, I feel stuck and lost, I feel right now very inspired and like capable. Whereas a lot of times I feel almost like, I don't know if this makes sense, but if any of you guys can relate to this at all, I assume you can. I have a hard time with like titles. I don't feel like I can, like, again, I'm painting, but I don't feel like I can call myself an artist. I'm a YouTuber, but I don't feel like I can call myself a professional. And I was actually at a farm to table last week, and I was talking to a bunch of professionals, people that are like, oh, I'm a florist, oh, I'm a farmer. And they're using these terminologies to describe themselves. And I said to one of them, because they said like, oh, you're a professional content creator, YouTuber, or whatever. And I was like, oh, no. And they were like, oh yeah, you are. And I said, well, when can somebody say they're a professional? And they're like, when you're making money at it. And I was like, oh, well then, yeah, I guess I am. But it was just, I have a really hard time with feeling like I know what I'm doing enough to like offer a class or offer a workshop or anything like that. However, I asked a lot of these other people, I would be like, how do you gain the confidence to like run a workshop and say like, I'm an artist? And they were like, you just do it. Like, you just fake it till you make it. And I was like, oh, okay. So it was like, okay. And then I just realized we're all kind of faking it till we make it. Like, are we all kind of just doing the same thing? Like, sort of feeling like we can't like have a title. And so I talked to my therapist about this, and I was like, when am I going to feel like I'm good enough or whatever for like to be able to have like a title, all this kind of stuff? And she goes, I don't know if this helps you feel any better, but she's like, I'm a licensed therapist. And I'm like, oh, but I just have my master's. I don't have my doctorate. And I was like, wow, so even you feel this way? She's like, yes, this is like a thing between like my clients, between all other people. Like, people just feel like they're not enough, like they haven't done enough, they haven't been enough. And I was like, even you, because I look at you like you're prestigious, you know what I mean? Like, you have this title, you're my licensed therapist. And she's like, yeah, but I see myself like, yeah, but you don't have a doctorate, so you're not a real therapist. And I was like, oh my gosh, wow. Like, I wouldn't have even thought about it like that because I would never think of you that way. And then she's like, yeah, and other people aren't thinking of you that way. Anyway, what was the question? I don't even remember. Oh, my mental health. Yeah, it's been great. Anyway, that's kind of one of the reasons that I'm feeling so great is like, I just feel sort of like I've broken through a barrier, so to speak, and that I'm like, I don't know, I just feel kind of capable right now and sort of excited. And I have really bad like seasonal depression. I really don't like the winter, but I'm trying to just be like, okay, well, you don't like the winter, so here's what you're gonna do during the winter. You're gonna take guitar lessons. You're gonna like build small little figurines. You're gonna paint. There's just, instead of sitting around and being like, I don't like winter, find things to do inside that you do like to do, that do fill your cup. And art and artistic things really, really do. I need to get my easel. I cannot find my freaking easel. I think it's in the garage. But you see how this is just like flopping back and forth? I need like an easel to like hold it into place. A lot of people are asking about the wedding that we're hosting coming up here soon. I've never hosted a wedding before. I've helped with like wedding decorations and stuff like that. But if you guys didn't know or didn't see the video, my younger sister, so you guys don't know her, I've never shown her here on my channel. So my dad's ex-wife's daughter, but she's been in our family. Like, we met her when she was like 1 or 2, like very, very young. So she is like my sister, you know what I mean? And so she is getting married here next weekend. Is it next weekend? Oh my God, I better get going. I've never hosted a wedding before and I'm nervous. I'm also not. I love party planning. Party planning is like my lifeblood. It literally fills my cup more than like anything. I absolutely love hosting parties. I don't know what it is. Some people are like, oh my God, I hate it. It stresses me out. It's like my least favorite thing. I live for party planning. We're hanging up lights. We actually just hung lights up out in the gazebo area. I'll show you what they look like. They're like these curtain lights. They're so freaking pretty, but we're doing it all DIY. And I am going to like get some tables on order for the day, and we're like making the food and the cakes and everything like that. Like, we're doing it all. See what we can get done in like a smaller budget way. My wedding for back in the day, like this, I got married pre-Pinterest. So if that tells you anything. So I had to like come up with all my ideas by myself. Like, I had no inspiration images or anything like that. And our budget was literally nothing. Like, we had no budget. We were working with nothing. So it was kind of fun. Like, we had to make all our own food. I had to do all my own decorations. We didn't have catering. We didn't have anything for my wedding. So, we had to just make do with what we had. And it was kind of fun though, to like just see what you could do. We found a local rental place too, that's going to rent us a lot of the decorations, which is really cool. The ladies were really, really nice. We met up with them both. They both came over here a couple months ago, and we talked about like details and stuff like that and everything that they wanted. And their whole, I actually just took a flower class. Like, I took a class from this gal, Humble Bouquet, here in Washington. Really, really nice class that we just took. And it was a flower arrangement class because I'm doing all the flowers for the girl's wedding as well. And so I am like making all the bouquets, I'm making all the decorations, I'm doing all of that. And I'm actually gonna go do a you pick flowers. And so I'm gonna actually go to a flower farm the day before the wedding, pick all the flowers, and then I'm going to do all of the arranging. And I think the girls are gonna come with me for the flowers and see potentially if they wanna like come. They sounded like they were interested. They have 2 little kids as well. So it's very exciting. The little kids can be a part of the special day. And someone said, do you regret making your Jaclyn Hill video? Apparently she came out recently and talked in a video about that whole time. And of course, she's talked a lot about it over the years and how absolutely difficult that was for her. We're talking about like the lipstick scandal and everything in the microscope video. Yeah, I actually kind of do. And now granted, if you go back and watch my video, I think people remember it a lot meaner than it was. It's certainly not a mean video. I give Jaclyn a lot of grace in that video. I blame it on the lab. I don't blame it on her. I'm being a very kind. I think ultimately making the video in and of itself comes off harsh. And I hate that. I don't like that I am synonymous with that being harmful to somebody else. I also feel like it brought about a group of subscribers at times that expected that from me, expected me to like be brutal and harsh. And I granted, I did used to be a lot more like that. Just as I've gotten older, I've chilled out a lot. What can I say? Try to give everyone the benefit of the doubt and give grace where I can. But in that same token, do I regret it? In a way, I do. I think that it was pile on But however, I will say I wasn't trying to be a pile-on culture or anything like that. If you actually look at the timeline, I was one of the first people to film the video, and the rumors had just started coming out about like the fuzzies on the lipsticks and stuff like that. And I didn't believe it. I was like, I don't know about all that. I just think that it's like over dramatized. And then I opened my package, and we all know how that went down. And I just felt really bad because I was like, dude, I can't even imagine having my first launch that I've been waiting for my entire career, and then that's the outcome. Like, what an absolute nightmare of a situation. And then of course everybody's videos start coming out, and then because I happened to have my microscope sitting there, I put him under the microscope, and granted, that video went viral, and I feel bad because I do think, like, come on, I don't know. This was years ago. Hindsight's 2020. I can always look back into perspective of things that I've done and all that kind of stuff. Like, I can always admit where I'm wrong. And I don't know that I don't mean to say that there was no value in the video. I think there probably was, because of the consumer. Like, I'm all about helping people not waste their money, and I don't want people wasting their money on lipsticks that had, faults and stuff like that. However, I don't feel good about it. I don't look back on that and think, yeah, got her. I'm not like that at all. In fact, would I make that video today? No, I would not. I feel guilty that it caused issues with Jaclyn, like she was talked about. I didn't actually watch the podcast the other day, but I probably should. But I feel guilty about it. So I hope my video wasn't the catalyst for the issues that she was talking about. I don't know what she talked about on the podcast, but I know that she talked about like issues with alcohol addiction and things like that. And I feel super guilty about that. Like, oh my God, how could you not? I don't know. I'm just like, I don't relish in anyone's, not downfall, but I mean, like, let's be real. That was brutal. And I feel like people really fucking glommed onto that, and really, it just took it really hard on her. And she did write it, especially in the way, if you look at it, she refunded everybody got their money back. I don't know how to say this in any other way than to say, people ask me all the time, like, do you ever look back on that and feel bad about it? Hell yeah, I feel bad about it. I don't ever want to be somebody that caused something like that for somebody. And I did it in the name of like trying to be as honest and real as humanly possible. And I agree that, the hair, that the fuzzies were there. The statements I made in that video, 100% true. Does that make me feel good about the outcome? No. I don't feel good about it at all. I don't feel good that it caused somebody to go into a deep, dark depression. And if I had anything to do with that, which I'm sure I did, I'm so sorry. Like, what a fucked up thing of me to do. Yes, you're a makeup brand, and yes, I can make videos. That my job is to inform people on products and things like that. But like, I guess what I'm trying to say is, I didn't know that it was gonna be popular. I didn't know my video would do well. I didn't know it would get out there. I didn't know any of that stuff. But I hear the criticisms of that video, and people are like, you didn't have to put them under a microscope. I know. I didn't think. First of all, I didn't get millions of views back then. Nobody watched my videos that much at all. I wasn't like a popular YouTuber or anything. I mean, I was getting more popular, but that is kind of one of the videos that sort of got pushed out because it was like a really popular topic at the time. I feel like people probably took it a little too far, and I can't imagine how hard that must have been on Jaclyn. I'm glad that she's doing well now. I'm so glad that she's talking about it now, because sitting and not talking about that has got to be absolutely brutal as well. I'm very sorry if I was part of that pile-on culture. I was. I didn't mean to be. I was just trying to be informative to consumers and people that were potentially going to be buying the lipsticks. At the end of the day, they're lipsticks, and I don't think she deserved the kind of vitriol that she was experiencing, and the absolute hate and brutal attacks. I can't even imagine how that affected her mental health and caused such distress. Like, that would be the most stressful, I just can't. I'm so sorry if I made that worse for her. Like, it makes me feel physically ill, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And no shit, like, I don't know. It's like, it's just more or less that, like, there's also the added part two where it's like, it brought a lot of people to my YouTube channel that wanted drama. They want the tea. They want me to be brutal like that and put everything under a microscope. And like, while yes, we got to see up close what that looked like, did we need to? I don't know. I don't know, I just kind of look back at myself and I cringe. I do that anyway, just because you grow and you change every day. And, it's not something that I'm necessarily proud of. I don't look back on that and think, yeah, I'm the Jaclyn Hill lipsticks microscope girl. I don't explain that when I tell people what my YouTube channel is. I don't feel good about it. And I'm not going to put anybody else's makeup under a microscope unless it's my own face. I would do that again. But yeah, no, I don't feel good about it. I feel ultimately sick to my stomach at the thought that her mental health declined and I could be a part of that for somebody, because fuck that. I don't ever want to do that again. And, I could have given you the information without doing that. I didn't, again, think that it was going to go as far as it did. I had no idea. But now I realize that you never know. You never know how things are going to go, do we? Do you feel nervous about having enough income to sustain your lifestyle/retirement? Oh my God, yes. I'm very, very conscious with my money. I don't like overspend and stuff like that. But in any job, you have to, be conscious of that stuff. And so, yes, I've been saving for retirement for a very long time, and I'm very smart with, savings and stuff like that. But in the same token, like, YouTube is a very fickle thing. One day you're viral and popular, and then the next day you're not. And it's just the way that it is. Like, people can all day long sit here and be like, oh, that's because you didn't blank, blank, blank. That's because you didn't. Yeah, no shit. Even the most popular people, even the most genius content creators eventually will fall off. Like, that's just a part of this job. It's a part of the industry, and it's just a part of it. Like, you could all day long be like, that's not going to be me. Okay. Sure it's not. So you just don't know when it will, but it will. And you don't know how it will, but it will. And you just have to prepare for that. So it's, fortunately, I kind of always had the idea in my mind, this is a very fleeting thing, and treat it that way financially. I think it's always important to worry a bit about that so that you don't get complacent and then you don't screw yourself over. Because, I don't know if you guys remember, but back in the day, that Glitter Forever 17, she made videos about, like, here's how I spent my money wrong. My house got foreclosed upon type of stuff. And that video, I think, affected a lot of people, obviously herself included. Not a lot of us have seen that happen yet. YouTube is a relatively new platform in the age of the world. And so it's kind of like watching people kind of come up and then go down. It's like, whoa, we haven't really seen it. These are the first groups of people that we've seen do this, And so it's like her being honest about that, being like, oh, here's where I spent $8,000 on a lamp, and that was a stupid choice, and now a house is being foreclosed upon, and that's stupid. And it's just like really wild to see and hear people talk about that kind of thing. And I think it's important, though. I like it when people are like, yeah, here's where I effed up, here's what I could have done better. Have I made poor financial choices? Yeah. Literally, yeah. Like, I remodeled areas of my yard and house and stuff like that where I'm like, why didn't you pay off your house instead, you absolute moron? But you live and you learn. Try not to stress about it, because stress is not good for anybody. But I do certainly think about it every single day of my life. And I think that it's important to, think about finances and stuff like that in a smart way, not in a stressed out, life-ruining way. Someone asked, how am I doing deep down in my soul, and how is my anxiety? My anxiety is pretty much gone. Like, with life circumstances and stuff like that naturally cause anxiety, I can feel some, but just like a regular human amount. Therapy has helped me massively. I cannot even begin to sing its praises enough. If you have access to it, I highly suggest. But I'm doing great. I'm doing really, really good, and I feel really, really good. And I've also been doing low carb again. I hate to even call it keto, because I'm not eating like high fat or anything like that. I'm just eating much more low carb. And I'm doing that because I hadn't tried it since my baby was born. And I remember feeling better when I would do low carb. Like, in general, I just felt so much better. And I remember thinking a couple of weeks ago, I thought, like, maybe I should just try it again and see if I feel good again, like, doing it. And the second that my body adjusted to eating lower carb, I feel immediately better. And I remember, I just forget often, you have polycystic ovarian syndrome, you have insulin resistance. And so it's easy for me to forget when I'm going about my life and day normally and just eating carbs and kind of feeling the way that I feel, that like food does make an impact on how you feel. And I forget that, you know. I'm actually going to try something right now. I've not done this before, so this might be a colossal failure, but I want to try these pens. A lot of people asking about the election, and this is something that's like such a heated topic for so many people. You know, interestingly, I actually took a little quiz the other day because I wanted to see where I fell on the political spectrum, and the quiz was like asking me all these questions and like, where do you fall on with these answers and stuff like that. And at the end of the quiz, it was like, you are, what did it say? This is where it put me. It was a political typology quiz. And here's, your best fit is stressed sideliner, along with 15% of the public. Here are the categories. It was progressive left, establishment liberals, democratic mainstays, outsider left, stressed sideliners, basically directly in the middle. Then there's the ambivalent right, populist right, committed conservatives, and faith and flag conservatives. So that's like all the different like things there on the bottom. So as you can see, I fit in with the stressed sideliners, whatever the hell that means. I just wanted to know, like, where do I fall? Because I don't feel like I fucking fall into any of it. And, you know, I don't think I do. So it says shake, vent, press on scratch paper, ink filled in scratch paper first. So like, it's drawing. I noticed that there's like right here. Oh, whoopsie. Right here on the picture. I don't know if you guys can see. You see how there's like white reflecting from the sky? I want to see if I can sort of draw that. Like if it looks, by the way, if this looks really bad, I'm just going to paint over it. So I'm not that concerned about it. I'm just going to see how this looks like when I back up from it. Like, does it look, oh, it kind of, oh, hey, now that actually does look like a light reflection. Oh, I like that. Okay. So then if I draw, but then it's all mixed within the white. So I don't know about that, but I want to see if like, if I do sort of like, oh God. Oops, that went up. Okay. Okay, let's answer another question. Someone, would you rather throw up in public or poop yourself in private? Well, I have pooped myself in private, so probably that one. These little white flowers down here at the bottom are totally like, I have this sandwort down here, and as you can see, like we've got like little tiny white flowers going. You see how like only the reflections are on this side of the greenhouse? But I'm going to paint some of this sandwort down here. Professional painters are watching this like, oh my God, you're forgetting such important steps. Like, dude, this is, I know, but this is where I start to question everything and not know what I'm doing. And I feel like this is where I want to stop because I'm like, I'm not good enough. I don't know what I'm doing. Someone said, would you ever quit YouTube? Yes, I think I would, depending on where I'm at in my life and where I, you know, just how things are going, and just if it still brings me joy. I'm not there yet. I have had times where I've wanted to quit YouTube, but mostly that just kind of aligns with like my mental health or things like that going on. I never say never. Yeah, because like if you actually look at what the glass is doing up here, or the plexiglass, it looks like this. It looks like crazy. And that looks crazy. But yeah, I would probably quit YouTube eventually, or just transition it to something else that I really enjoy, because that's the thing, is like, it's not like I ever want to like just up and quit. It just seems like I would just change it to something else that I really like, or I don't know. Yeah, probably eventually one day. I assume I won't do it anymore when I'm like, you know, have my own business, or I'm just busy, or I've got, you know, kid or kids, you know. I don't know if I'm gonna have any more kids. Probably not, but you never say never again. Okay, this pen is fun. I really like drawing with this paint pen. That is kind of the vibe for me. Uh-oh. I might have immediately changed my mind on that. You know what? Let's just go for it. Someone asked what is like my favorite music right now, or top songs. Right now, I'm literally obsessed with Fleet Foxes. I cannot get enough. I just feel like they are the feeling of my soul right now. Is it Hopelessness Blues? I I know this song's not new. I literally love it. I'm like so obsessed with it right now. So that's kind of where my vibe is. If you want to know where my vibe is, it's Fleet Foxes right now, totally. Did brands expect you to look and act a certain way, or do they just let you be yourself? Well, I don't work with brands that give me specific things that I have to say or do. Some people might. I will say most brands want you to be yourself. They hire you or find you because they like who you are. I've had very, very, very few ever try to like change me or dull me down or anything like that. So I would say most brands are totally receptive to you just being yourself. That's what they want. They want you to, they want you to talk to the audience that knows and loves you. They don't want you to be somebody that people don't expect. So yeah, I think most brands are totally vibing. They're totally like good and nice and normal. They certainly have like points they want you to hit on, you know what I mean? They have like points they want you to say or about their product or whatever, but brands are really receptive to just you being yourself. Did you experience losing any relationships after having my child? Oh, definitely. And they said, like, how do you cope with it? I think that friends come and go, and they serve a purpose in your life for when they're there, but not all friendships last forever. I have friends who I don't talk to anymore. It's not of my, it's not like I planned that, or it's not like they planned it or anything like that. It's just the way that it is, unfortunately. Yeah, friendships fall apart sometimes. They change. It's kind of hard being friends with people who don't have kids, or it's hard for people who don't have kids to be friends with people who do. I think a lot of the times it's kind of at odds with just like, life. It just kind of goes in the direction that it goes into. And unfortunately, it just kind of, sometimes friendships fall apart. And, we have some friends that we were really, really, really close with, and then we had a kid and we don't talk to them anymore. It just kind of happened. Like, it wasn't a choice. It wasn't ever something that any of us spoke about. It was just more like they kind of quit reaching out and we kind of just got absorbed in life. And yeah, it definitely happens. It's not my favorite. It sucks. I wish it didn't, but it just, it's unfortunately just a part of life and growing up. Not everybody wants to be friends with somebody who's talking about kids all the time. I get that. I really didn't have a lot of friends with kids. Well, that's not true. I had friends that had kids, but I couldn't really relate to a lot of what they were going through, or I thought I could. I would be like, oh yeah, my cats, but it's just so different, So yeah, friendships fall apart sometimes, and it sucks, but it happens, and you just gotta find new friends where you can. I have made a lot of really great friends, since becoming a mom, and I'm really happy with my new friendships, and sad to see old ones go, but maybe they'll rekindle again in the future, maybe they won't. But I'm at the point in my life where I'm like, shit happens. I have friends that just were on a different page, or I used to be a real cusser mouth, I just used to be somebody a little different. People change, and that's okay. I'm okay with it. I'm okay if people don't want to be friends with me after a while, or if we just kind of grow apart. It sucks, but it's what happens in life, man. We just gotta roll with the punches, unfortunately. Oh my God, this video is an hour long. Okay, I guess that's where I'm gonna stop with this painting. I guess you can see kind of where we started and where we finished. I'm not in love with it. I think I have a lot more to go. I have a lot more that I want to do with it. I'm just gonna set this camera here. The shading makes all the difference in the world. And I learned this part from body painting. You get to the end and you're like, why does this look dull? And then you start adding the deep, dark black shadows, and you start adding the really bright white highlights. And that's when you're like, oh, it's starting to come together, We made it to this part, I guess. It's not my best work, but hey, it's not that bad. It's kind of cute. And I'm going to get better and better. I'm going to keep practicing, and I'm going to quit being so hard on myself. And I'm going to, both my lights died, so it was the perfect timing. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope it was somewhat fun to watch. And I thank you guys for watching, and I will see you at my next video.